Great art is beautiful, but many artists died in ways that were dark, sad, and even shocking. Some were killed, some took their own lives, and some died in ways no one can explain. Today, we're going to look at 10 of the most haunting artist deaths in history. This is Stories in Paint. Let's begin.
First, we will come to number 10, Egon Schiele, 1890 to 1918. Egon Schiele was young, bold, and scandalous. His paintings of raw, twisted bodies shocked polite society in Vienna. At just 28, he was already one of the most. But in 1918, the Spanish flu swept across the world like fire. Within days, it took his pregnant wife, Edith. Egon was left sketching her body as she lay dying. 3 days later, the flu took him too. He died holding a pencil, leaving unfinished drawings by his bed. A young genius, cut down before his art could fully bloom. Number 9, Raphael, 1483 to 1520. The Prince of Painters. Raphael was adored by kings, popes, and the people of Rome. His paintings of Madonnas radiated grace and peace. But his death? Anything but peaceful. He collapsed suddenly on his 37th birthday. Rumors swirled. Was it a fever? Or was it exhaustion from his infamous affairs with women? Even his doctor made it worse, bleeding him so much that it may have killed him. Rome wept. The Pope himself ordered Raphael to be buried in the Pantheon. A golden boy struck down at the height of glory. Number 8, Jean-Michel Basquiat, 1960 to 1988. Basquiat was the fire of 1980s New York. From graffiti on the streets to million-dollar canvases, he rose like a rocket. But fame came with demons, loneliness, pressure, and drugs. At 27, the same age as Hendrix, Morrison, and Joplin, Basquiat overdosed in his studio. His final painting? A skull, a chilling reflection of what was coming. The art world lost its rebel, its poet of chaos, and New York lost its brightest spark. Number 7, Modigliani, 1884 to 1920. The man of long necks and haunting eyes. Modigliani lived fast, drank hard, and painted like he was racing against death. Tuberculosis stalked him his entire life. In 1920, at just 35, it finally claimed him. But the tragedy didn't stop there. His young lover, Jane Hibuterne, 9 months pregnant, couldn't bear the loss. The day after his death, she threw herself out of a window, killing both herself and their unborn child. One artist's death became two. A love story turned into a tragedy the world still mourns. Number 6, Vincent van Gogh, 1853 to 1890. Van Gogh gave the world sunflowers, starry nights, and colors that seemed alive. But his own life was storm after storm. In July 1890, he walked into a wheat field. Hours later, he stumbled back, shot in the chest. He died 2 days later, whispering, "The sadness will last forever." But here's the twist. Some historians now believe he didn't shoot himself. 2 boys may have accidentally shot him, and he covered for them with his last breath. Was it suicide or sacrifice? We may never know. Number 5, Artemisia Gentileschi's father, Orazio Gentileschi, 1563 to 1639. Orazio wasn't just a painter. He was the father of Artemisia Gentileschi, one of the most powerful women in art history. He spent his last years painting in London at the court of King Charles I. But when war broke out, Orazio was caught in the chaos. He fell ill, alone in a foreign land, and died far from his home in Rome. His death was overshadowed by the violence of history. Forgotten by many, remembered only by his daughter's fame. Sometimes death erases even those who once stood in the spotlight. Number 4, Michelangelo Merisi da Caravaggio, 1571 to 1610. Caravaggio lived like his paintings, violent, dramatic, and dark. He brawled in taverns, killed a man in a duel, and fled across Italy with the law chasing him. At 38, while trying to return to Rome, he collapsed on a lonely beach. Malaria? Poison? Murder? No one knows. His body was buried in an unmarked grave. The man who painted light and shadow like no one else, swallowed by mystery and silence. Number 3, Jackson Pollock, 1912 to 1956. The bad boy of American art. Pollock changed painting forever with his wild drip technique. But fame couldn't save him from alcohol and rage. One night, drunk at the wheel, he sped down a road in New York. The car flipped. He and a young woman were killed instantly. The genius of chaos died in chaos. A man who poured his pain onto canvas, destroyed by it off the canvas.
Number 2, Mark Rothko, 1903 to 1970. Rothko's paintings look simple, just blocks of color, but stare long enough and they pull you into an ocean of emotion. His works were about the human soul. Yet his own soul was heavy. Depression consumed him. In 1970, he locked himself in his studio. When they found him, he had taken his life, leaving behind canvases drenched in darkness. His art still hangs in silent chapels, glowing like windows into his suffering. Number 1, Francisco Goya, 1746 to 1828. The painter of kings, the creator of nightmares. Goya painted beauty for the royals and horror for himself. His black paintings cover walls with demons, witches, and Saturn devouring his son. By the time he died, he was deaf, bitter, and exiled. His grave? Empty. When they moved his remains, his skull was missing. To this day, no one knows what happened to Goya's head. A genius who stared into the abyss, and in death became a mystery himself. Art gives us beauty, but behind that beauty are lives filled with pain, tragedy, and endings that still haunt us. From Schill's fever to Goya's missing skull, these deaths remind us genius often comes at a terrible cost. Which story shocked you the most? Tell me in the comments below. And if you want more haunting stories of art and artists, don't forget to subscribe. This is Stories in Paint, where every masterpiece hides a darker story.